Have you ever gone on vacation, been wrongfully accused of spreading graffiti across an island, and then been forced to clean it all up despite the perpetrator being way more blue than you? No? Weird. I thought that happened to everyone. Regardless, that's what happened to our boy Mario, and to help clear his name, I decided to speedrun Super Mario Sunshine for 3 days to see just how fast we could do so. I think it's important to talk about the preparation I did before doing my initial run. I decided to run the any percent category for this game because it's the shortest and involves a lot of cool glitches that I wanted to try out. Now, I haven't played this game in over a decade, so I wanted to familiarize myself with the movement and routes speedrunners take. I found that watching marathon runs were a great way to do so because they describe a lot of tricks and movement techniques. You'll notice in the runs that at first I use a lot of jump dives, but there's a better movement tactic that allows Mario to build speed while sliding on water. This becomes important to implement as we progress because movement is what will save us time overall. It's also important to note that in Sunshine, we need to collect shine sprites to unlock more parts of the game, but there isn't a minimum number of shines we'll need to collect to unlock the final level. Instead, each of the game's worlds has 8 missions, and we'll need to complete the 7th mission of each, a chase against the evil Shadow Mario, to reach the end. There are a couple of tricks that will allow us to skip some of these missions and save time. I familiarized myself with 3 tricks in the game. One is the Gelato Beach skip, where we can obtain the 8th mission's shine, unlocking access to the 7 previous missions. This is one of the biggest skips we can do in the run. The second is a clip in Pianta Village that allows us to skip unlocking Yoshi early on. And the third is a trick called Early Yoshi Go Round that allows us to skip 1.5 missions in Pinna Park. I'll explain more about these in day 1, where we talk about the route. Also, as a heads up, I'm not an expert in this game by any means, so my descriptions of things will be as simple as I can keep them. If you're interested in learning the speedrun for yourself, I'll link some resources I used in the description. With that being said, let's see what happened on the first day. Day 1 started raw, and I jumped straight into a run. Also, yeah, that's me. Hi. After an opening cutscene, we gain control of Mario and navigate over to Flood to obtain its utility for the rest of the run. Following a tutorial, we interact with this pool of graffiti by spraying it with water, unveiling a polluted piranha plant. This is a common boss we'll see many times at the beginning of the run, but we defeat it easily by spraying water into its mouth 3 times. Doing so gives us our first of 43 shine sprites that are required in this run. After being accused of causing the pollution, Mario's sent to jail, and we're tasked with cleaning up the areas across Isle Delfino to make things right. We're first sent to Delfino Plaza, the main hub of the game, where we take down another polluted piranha plant in a similar fashion as before. This uncovers a statue where Shadow Mario, the main villain of the game, reveals himself. He attempts to kidnap Princess Peach, but we give chase by spraying him with our water. As you'll notice, I use a lot of burst sprays to ensure that I hit him quickly. After taking him down, we chase him into the first world of the game, Bianco Hills. In Super Mario Sunshine, future missions are locked until you collect the previous shine, but this is the first world where we can skip a mission for a future one. We'll be skipping the first mission of the world and heading straight to the second. Back when I was younger, I actually did this in many casual playthroughs, so seeing that speedrunners use this technique in professional runs was a cool feeling. It's like I was born for this. Anyway, navigating over to the skeeter in the water gives us a way to quickly ascend this mountain and climb the windmill where Petey Piranha, the next boss of the game, waits. In the fight itself, all we have to do is spray water into his face when he opens his mouth and ground pound onto his bloated belly 3 times. The only thing to be cautious of here is making sure he doesn't get to spray his own graffiti onto the battlefield. The next shine we get in Bianco Hills is the first secret stage of the game. By entering this cave, we enter a level where we lose access to Flood, meaning we'd have to maneuver through a platforming challenge without the precision hovering that we normally have. There are many of these levels in the run, so it's important to get comfortable with the movement options you have so that you don't die like this. Upon returning to Delfino Plaza, we see that there's a new polluted piranha plant to deal with, where our boathouse used to be, and this one isn't playing around. We have to spray this boss 6 times in order to defeat it. Oh no, whatever will I do? But we do it in record time and try to pull off a small cutscene skip by re-entering Bianco Hills before the boss dies. Unfortunately, we didn't get it, but it only saves a couple of seconds, so no big deal there. The next shine in Bianco Hills is a simple 8 red coin mission. We simply collect the coins scattered around this section of the level and ascend to reap our reward. One thing to note is that a faster way of traveling across these tight ropes is to jump, dive, then ground pound before landing. Just don't land on those red spikes along the way. Our 5th shine has us refight Petey Piranha in the town. It really seems like they reused a lot of bosses in this game, huh? We wake Petey up by hitting him with these points that drop water onto his head. Then he flies away, where we can spray him with water to make him drop down. The fight is just like the previous time, only he's got some new moves up his sleeve. 3 hits like before gets us our shine. Another polluted piranha plant awaits us where the lighthouse used to be, and we leave Bianco Hills for now. Defeating the boss allows us to enter Gelato Beach, where the largest skip in the game occurs. In this world, the 8th shrine exists inside this glass container. Collecting this shrine would give us access to every shrine in the world, including the 7th one, which we want to complete. Here we perform the skip that allows us to clip into the small area and collect the shrine. We first acquire a coconut and place it here. We then grab onto this pole to align ourselves completely straight with the hut in front of us. At this point, it's important to maintain our alignment, so we grab the coconut and jump to position ourselves to get on top of the hut. I personally think the triple jump is easiest, so I do that. Then align Mario's shadow with the 3rd line on this roof. If you've done everything correctly, you can drop the coconut, run straight forward, and have it push you into the roof. Now, maintaining a height that keeps you inside of the roof will allow you to drop straight onto the shrine. Messing this trick up requires you to do all the setup again, so be mindful of that. Miraculously though, it only took a 7-minute segment for me to achieve this in my run, and I was super excited to get it so quickly. The 7th mission in every world is a chase with Shadow Mario, so we simply run the opposition down and leave Gelato Beach behind with everything we needed. Our next destination is Pianta Village, which is at the top of the Shrine Arch. Normally we'd need to unlock a nozzle power-up to blast our way up there, but we can reach the top with a well-placed triple jump and a short hover-up. Our first mission is to tame 3 chain chomplets by cooling them down with our water, then launching them into a pool of water from the tail. The second shine is obtained after a straightforward race against Il Piantissimo, but this guy's a breeze as long as you keep moving. In the third shine, we lose Flood before entering the stage, and we have to find our way to a golden mushroom to recover it. Typically you'd have to travel across the underside of the stage to get there, but we can use a clever damage boost to find a more direct path up. The graffiti in the stage will also burn you, so watch out for that. At the top, we wash off the Pianta and claim our reward. The fourth shine is similar to the first, only we have a large chain chomp to deal with. All we have to do is calm it down and pull it into this pool of water. The following shine is the second trick I practiced. We aim to enter a secret level under the village, but we'd need Yoshi to clear these obstacles. However, we don't have enough progress to unlock Yoshi, so we use a small clip to enter instead. Lining Mario up here and moving forward allows us to phase through the tree. We hover backwards, grab the ledge, drop down, and hover again to enter the loading zone. In my run, it took a couple of tries to nail, eventually leading to an unfortunate game over. But we finally get a good clip after a few more attempts. Inside the secret stage, we're faced with a difficult challenge. Basically, we need to travel around the level, but there are many gaps along the way. The only way to get through without Flood is to talk to these chucksters and have them throw us across. Talking to them can be hard because I'm a shy person, but they also move around, and the angle you interact with them determines the angle that you'll fly at. But by facing our fears and taking our time, we're able to reach the shine on our second try. The sixth shine requires us to clean 10 villagers who have fallen into the goop within 3 minutes. Nothing crazy here. Then we finish off with another Shadow Mario chase. Pinna Park is our next destination, and we start off with a fight against Mecha Bowser. We ride a roller coaster and shoot rockets at the beast to take it down. Sounds fun, right? Well, actually, it's tougher than you think, since the angles you can shoot at are slightly limited. 4 shots leads to our victory though, and we get to watch a long cutscene as a reward. The second shine is a secret stage, but we first have to take out this mole. 3 bombs to the face allows us to enter a simple stage with disappearing platforms inspired by our good friend Yoshi. The third shine is another red coin mission in the theme park, so there's not much to say here. The fourth shine needs us to take out these Yoshi egg lookalikes by ground pounding onto their bellies. If you can awaken them all in a fast enough pace, you'll clean them up faster than you can say. I, however, took my time and smelled the flowers along the way. The next shine is where the third trick I practiced comes up. We can access the secret stage of the 6th shine by bringing an orange Yoshi to the missing merry-go-round. So we aim to bring the Yoshi out by the beach to the one in the park. This gets a bit long, so bear with me. We first get a purple Yoshi and throw a fruit that will make Yoshi orange into the entrance of the park here. Different Yoshis are able to create different platforms when they spray their juice, and we want a purple one to make a horizontally moving platform. So with that in mind, we bring our purple Yoshi and 2 of these enemies to this corner, have one slam the ground, and spray it when it reaches a certain height to allow us to sidestep into this area. We need to avoid hitting the loading zone into the park, but also lure the second enemy in to make a platform. Once they're in, we spray a certain area to make the platform, turn into an orange Yoshi, and quickly hop on to move past an invisible wall that would prevent us from moving forward. This attempt you're seeing is actually my first one during the run. I really thought I had it, but you'll see my platform took me to a bad area where I got stuck and eventually died. This was because I was in an area I wasn't supposed to be. I was confident we'd get it in the next few tries, but then I got stuck in the ground, and then I couldn't find the fruit I needed, and then I couldn't turn into orange Yoshi. And by this attempt you're seeing, I had spent nearly 30 minutes trying to get a trick that would have saved about a minute. You know the sunk cost fallacy? Well, that was me right here, so there was no way I was giving up at this point. This was our next best run, but I got stuck in the merry-go-round just like the first time. I was gonna call it quits, but we thankfully fell into place, and we made it into the stage after so long. A short platforming challenge later, and we finally get the shine we deserved. We finished Pinna Park off with another Shadow Mario shine. Rico Harbor is our next destination, and from this point on, every stage we go to requires us to complete 7 shines in order. A fight against Gooper Blooper is our first task, and we do this quickly by grabbing its face and pulling back until its eyes turn purple. 2 rounds of this gets us our shine. We could pull off its tentacles to make it easier, but we're speedrunning, and that sounds so slow. The next shine requires us to enter the hidden track in the sewer and ride these small bloopers around an obstacle course. We pick the green one because it has the best handling and the same top speed as the fast purple one, as long as we're holding up on the control stick. We're rewarded with the shine if we can finish in under 45 seconds. The next shine lies inside this yellow cage. We need to ascend the level in order to fall into it, but I decided to go a more casual route. Grabbed the rocket nozzle and tried to blast my way to the top. Obviously I missed because I had no bearings on the entrance's height, but I backed it up by entering the cage from the bottom. It's possible to reach this bottom at an earlier point with the hover nozzle, but I didn't know of a good way at the time. The 4th shine here has us enter this tower and finish a secret stage. The platforming can be hard here since there's a lot of rotating and moving platforms, which actually caused the game over for me. However, with our return and more lives on hand, we were able to make it to the end. The 5th shine is a rematch against our blooper friend, but it's pretty much the same deal as before. The 6th is a timed red coin mission that requires us to ride on bloopers again. This shine can be a menace because hitting a wall can immediately lead to your demise, but we had a good run and nailed it first try. Shadow Mario waits for us at the end, and after catching him, we return to Bianco Hills. We never actually finished here, so in the 6th shine, we have a secret stage to complete. There's a lot of flipping platforms and many places to fall off, so I found this to be one of the toughest stages to complete. Then we finish off with another Shadow Mario chase. Serena Beach is where we head next, but we'll need Yoshi to unlock the entrance. I always thought a level with a hotel would be quite relaxing, but our first mission here is anything but that. We have to take down this manta ray that keeps splitting into 2 and spreads electric graffiti around the stage. Bursts of water are super effective here since they'll cover large regions and take out the smallest mantas cleanly. At a certain point, they'll all turn purple and chase you, so be mindful of that. That might work in your favor since now they're easier to catch. Our next mission is a secret stage inside the hotel. Jumping into the Boo statue's mouth takes us to a fairly straightforward level. The 3rd mission is pretty memorable to me as a casual experience because it has us explore many secrets of the hotel. But in the speedrun, we simply grab this banana, head to the 3rd floor, backflip, and toss the fruit to push ourselves into the room with the shine. The 4th mission is another secret stage, but we get to see the casino of the hotel. In the casino, we'd normally have to play some slots to uncover panels that we flip to reach a pipe, but we can skip all that by going over the stage. The secret stage itself isn't too much of a hassle. Be mindful of the cubes though. If you get caught in between 2 of them, they'll crush you and force you to start the level over. Mission 5 has us take out King Boo in the basement of the casino. This fight has us spin some slots to either spawn enemies, fruits, coins, or water refills. We ideally want fruits because we can toss chili peppers at the king, followed by a fruit to deal damage. 3 strikes is the magic number here, but if we get a roll we don't like, we can run under him to reset the slots. I actually lost so much time to this fight because I died right before my 3rd hit. Next, we have to clean the entrance of the hotel that has been covered with green graffiti. Burst sprays are really effective here since they clean up a large area quickly, and we're able to finish in just under a minute and a half. Once again, Shadow Mario is the 7th mission, and completing this leads us to the final world we have to enter. Noki Bay is the classic water level we expect in Mario games. Our first task is to take out the mole at the top of the level, like we did back in Pinna Park. Traversing this stage was the hard part for me since I wasn't too familiar with its layout. 3 quick bomb hits, and we're out of there though. Our second mission would have us fight another blooper boss to access a secret chamber where the shine lies, but we use a clip with the spring to push us into this corner and fall into the room. This is way faster than the intended method because we don't have to do as much platforming or a boss fight. Just be sure to hover forward for a bit or else you'll fall out of the world. The third stage is a simple red coin mission to prep us for movement underwater. The controls in these conditions are a bit stiff since we have to ascend with the hover nozzle, and performing sharp turns isn't the same as on land. The next mission is a behemoth because we have to fight against this eel underwater with terrible hygiene. It has teeth so bad that it's polluting the water above. We need to use Flood to clean them off whenever it rises to attack. However, the difficult part for me was maintaining oxygen because you constantly lose health while down here, and gaining health is done by breaking these bubbles or collecting coins. My depth perception here failed me, causing a lot of close calls. After 5 minutes of extensive dental work though, we finally took it down. The fifth shine here is an easy race against Il Piantissimo again. We have to cross some water, but with Flood and some dives, he's no match for us. The sixth shine is infamous for being the hardest secret stage to complete. After climbing some ropes and entering the shell, we're faced with a platforming challenge that requires a lot of precise wall jumps. A more confident player would be able to do this first try and skip many sections, but I found it best to take it slow, and used a lot of spins to give myself more leeway during jumps. The major thing here is that there's so many places to fall, and the platforms you're on are pretty small as well. A game over here wasn't surprising to me, but with enough persistence, we finished it along with the Shadow Mario mission and headed back to Delfino Plaza. You'll notice the hub is now flooded, which is a good sign because this means we've unlocked access to Corona Mountain. Corona Mountain is a lava-filled level with dangerous obstacles. If you're comfortable with your hovering, the first portion shouldn't be a problem. This second section of the map has us ride over the lava on a boat. We can propel ourselves by shooting water in the opposite direction we want to travel, but if we hit anything, the boat will sink and we'll have to start over. Once we pass that, we're onto the third section of the map, where we have to climb some clouds with the rocket nozzle to reach the final Bowser fight. At the top, we have 5 areas that we'll need to ground pound. With the rocket nozzle, we can get enough height to break each one, but we'll need to watch out for the falling green liquid, broken pieces of debris, and the attacks from Bowser and his junior equivalent along the way. The debris was what threw me off so much because sometimes they'd eat my jump or rocket boost while trying to take off. Dying up here is not ideal because that means you'll have to do all 5 ground pounds again. But as before, with enough patience and a final ground pound, I was able to finish my Let's Play of Super Mario Sunshine in just over 3 hours. With a finish like this, I knew that a sub 2 hour run was possible, so I set that as my goal for the end of these 3 days. There were many areas that we could clean up, but I felt confident that there was enough time to shave off an hour. But for a first run, I'd say that's a really good starting point for someone who hasn't completed this game in a while. Because this initial run took much longer than expected, I called it a day after one run. Let's see what day 2 had to offer us. I felt that if I wanted to improve this time, practicing Gelato Beach skip and the Yoshigaron skip would help. So before our run, I spent time trying to get these tricks more consistently. Additionally, now that I had a better bearing on the game, my movement across the stages felt much better, and I was more confident in executing spin jumps in smaller areas. This helped a lot to ascend levels like Rico Harbor, where I used to side flip and hover to reach higher areas. On top of that, I was also more comfortable in starting hover slides and just sliding around levels to get around in general. In the run itself, aside from an avoidable death in Bianco 3's secret level, we didn't hit any roadblocks until the second fight against Petey Piranha. In my first run, after knocking him to the ground, he'd open his mouth after a single attack, but in this run, he attacked multiple times each round, causing our split to end slower than our initial run. The red split wasn't expected so early, but I knew that we had a lot of time to save in future levels, so I wasn't too worried. In fact, in Gelato Beach, we were able to get the skip in only a 5-minute segment, saving us 2 minutes, and we were back on pace for a really good run. I guess practice does help. Crazy, isn't it? Pianta Village was also great for us. We nailed the damage boost, got the clip into the secret stage, and completed the Chuckster challenge all on the first try. By the time we caught Shadow Mario, we were over 10 minutes ahead of our previous run, so I was feeling great. A bit too great though, because I decided to try an elaborate cutscene skip before Pinna Park. There's a way to clip inside this building and enter a zone where if you die on the same frame as you enter the cutscene, you can skip it. I've only watched this be done before, so obviously I wasn't able to get it. Pinna Park was a place with huge time saves. For one, we were able to get a cutscene skip inside of the park before the Mecha Bowser fight. There's actually 2 skips we can do here, one before the fight and one after. I was only able to get the first one because I forgot the execution for the second, but getting this in the future should save much more time. On the second shine, we were able to avoid fighting this mole and jumped straight into the cannon, allowing us to enter the stage much quicker than before. The other notable thing about Pinna Park was that we were able to perform the Yoshi skip in 10 minutes instead of 30, so we were on a good track for a personal best this run. In Rico Harbor, the only bump along the way was that we died on the 6th mission while collecting red coins. This actually cost us a lot of time because we had 6 coins when it happened, so we had to collect them all again. Aside from this, the rest of Bianco Hills and Serena Beach went swimmingly with only a few minor deaths. Noki Bay though, oh man, Noki Bay has become the bane of my existence. Sorry, I'm just trying to cope with what happened. Everything was fine until we reached the eel fight. I spent over 10 minutes fighting this boss because I died once, then tried a new technique to wash out the teeth, and wasn't able to regain health from these bubbles. But after learning a rhythm to hover in place, slowly grabbing coins to restore health, and teaching the eel about the hit single from Chip Skylark, shiny teeth in me, we finished with only 4.5 minutes lost. It's not a great fight by any means, and this has definitely become one of my least favorite missions. The rest of the shines in Noki Bay were no big deal. With only a single death in Noki 6, we finished up our business here and headed to Corona Mountain, 40 minutes ahead. However, my performance in Corona Mountain left much to be desired. Many times I tried to save time by dropping earlier onto these flaming platforms, but more than often I didn't extinguish the flames and ended up burning my butt. I was able to execute my jumps well, but I died 4 times in the first section, and once on the boat section due to losing control. Then, 2 deaths in the final Bowser fight left me much more behind than I really wanted. It also left me in a close position to get a game over, but we took the movement slowly and made sure to recover back to the arena after each ground pound, allowing us to finish this run in 2 hours and 24 minutes, about 38 minutes faster than our first attempt. A 40-minute time save is massive for only our second run, and it puts us in a good spot for the sub 2 hour run I desired. As I felt my movement improving, I knew the third day could only be better for us. Pinna Park had a lot of potential time save, so I felt like even if the Gelato Beach skip went poorly, we could easily make it up there. Would it be enough to save 24 minutes though? We'll just have to see. And with that, I headed into day 3 with my head held high. I'll be upfront about this. Day 3 started out pretty rough. We practiced the usual Gelato skip and Pianta secret clip, then jumped straight into a run. Things went okay for the most part, and we came out of Bianco Hills 34 seconds ahead. However, we hit a huge roadblock in Gelato Beach when attempting a skip, putting us 4 minutes behind. This was a really disappointing way to start the runoff, and it pretty much carried over into Pianta Village. I started declining to save in between shines just to save some seconds across the run, but this ultimately bit me in the butt after getting a game over in the Chuckster level. On top of having to make my way back up, I'd have to redo a few of the missions. This would have put me so much further behind, so I just decided to reset and do another run. The second run of the day, however, started off much stronger. We came out of Bianco Hills a minute ahead, and in Gelato Beach, we nailed the skip faster than we've ever done it before. We only took 3 minutes and 30 seconds to hit the trick, and despite having some issues setting it up, we pretty much got it on our first try. That was a great feeling, and really made this run feel like it was my best performance so far. Getting this trick put us ahead almost 2.5 minutes ahead of day 2, after we took down Shadow Mario. However, we hit another roadblock at the third Pianta Village mission. Remember that damage boost we used to do here? Well, I completely choked that part. Multiple times. And eventually got a game over, costing us pretty much all the time save up to that point. We left the village 45 seconds behind, but I wasn't too worried because I had some tricks to make it up in Pinna Park. The first mission was the best performance I had. We got the initial cutscene skip, defeated Mecha Bowser in 1 cycle, and got the second cutscene skip, which put us super ahead. The other big change we did in this run is that we did not attempt the Yoshi skip. We instead did Mission 5, which requires us to reach the top of this Ferris wheel and take out the Electro Koopa. Then we do the 6th mission normally by bringing a Yoshi to the merry-go-round inside of the park. By doing this, we actually came out of the stage 10 minutes ahead. This kind of made me regret going for the skip in previous runs, but live and learn, am I right? Then, with much better movement through Rico Harbor and the rest of Bianco Hills, we saved an extra 2.5 minutes. In Serena Beach, we ended up losing some time due to the Manta Ray boss and died multiple times in both secret stages. However, we came out 10 minutes ahead and entered the monster that is Noki Bay. There's nothing to note until we reach the eel fight, of course, where I whipped out some newfound knowledge to combine our hover and spray nozzles to quickly take out 4 initial teeth. Then, with better execution than day 2, we finally take out the eel, putting us an extra 5 minutes ahead due to our great performance. I was honestly super happy with how the fight went, but along with a strong Shell's secret performance, we were able to finish up the world 18 minutes ahead. It was at this point that I realized sub 2 hours would most likely be impossible, but I wanted to keep the run going to see how close we could get. With only 1 death inside of the volcano due to impatience, a fairly clean boat ride, and only 1 death during the final Bowser fight, we were able to hit our last ground pound, leaving us with a personal best of 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 54 seconds. While this wasn't exactly the result I wanted in the end, it's still a strong showing with many areas for improvement. I mean, looking at my sum of best, we could theoretically get the time down to 1 hour and 50 minutes, which is impressive for me for only 3 days of serious running. The time of 2 hours, 2 minutes would place us at about 918th out of 1,257 people, but shaving an hour off of basically 3 complete runs felt pretty good. While I don't have any plans to return to this game soon, I think that getting a sub 2 hour time would be very possible, given how much I've improved in such a short time. And with that, we've wrapped up day 3 and our time with Super Mario Sunshine. Over 3 days, we learned a route, adapted to the movement, and improved our execution of a new speed game. I enjoyed my time with it, and there were a few takeaways I found pretty valuable. For one, I realized I shouldn't do heavy tricks or skips if I can't do them consistently. For example, in Pinna Park, I wasn't at a point where I could nail the Yoshi skip first try, so this ultimately cost us more time by going for it. The fact that we saved 10 minutes in our final run shows that general movement and consistency in this game is more important than tricks. Second, I found that it was important to get a feel for the game before first trying to run it. In my first run, there were many times I tried to long jump because I was used to Super Mario 64 mechanics. It took a full run before I was familiar with sliding around stages instead. I think if I had done a playthrough before heading into my first run, I'd be much more comfortable with how Mario moves in the game. And third, I found it really refreshing to learn a new speed game. Even though it's still Mario, it's cool to see how much speedruns stray from the intended way to play a game. It also helps me understand how much work runners put into their craft. The world record for this category is just under 1 hour and 14 minutes, and while it seems like I'm getting close, I know it takes a lot of dedication to grind out that time. Overall, I had a lot of fun revisiting this game, and I definitely recommend the speedrun to anyone who's interested. Maybe I'll play some more on my own time so I can nail that sub 2 hour time. but for now, I'm ready for a vacation. Thanks for watching.